Hello, I'm John Walter, instructor for Winthrop University's Writing 501, Writing for New Media, for fall 2005. And in this short video, I want to give us a brief overview of our course website and then the course Blackboard site. So this is our course website. As you can see here, the URL is jpwalter.com, WRIT 501. I'll be sending that out in an email, and as well, it's also available here. If you click on course website, that will take you directly to this page here. So this is based in a WordPress blog, and so right now it says welcome to Write 501. Later on, the next couple days, actually probably we'll have something else will be at the top level, and you'll scroll down and you can see later content, so older content, and it is just how blogs work. Most of you are probably familiar with that. And so we've got here, you can see we've got the menu across the top here. One thing to note, each of these has pull-down menus, and I'll be adding content to this over the next, well, throughout the entire semester actually. But if you click on the word itself rather than any of the pull-down information, you'll actually get content as well. So this is sort of the top level stuff for the syllabus. From here, if you click on syllabus as opposed to any of these down here, you have the syllabus as a PDF that you can download, and a little bit of information directing your attention to specific parts of the syllabus section. But syllabus section, we've got like a course introduction if you want to see kind of what we're about. Again, all this information is in the PDF as well. And so we've got like the course texts right here. Information about grades and requirements if you want to see sort of an overview of what we're going to be doing this semester, the goals and student learning outcomes, policies for the course. Please do browse and read through these. Stuff on academic honesty. Even though we're an entirely online course, there is an attendance policy based on participation, so you do want to read that and be familiar with it. Talk about conduct in our class spaces. I talk a little bit about the course site, which is what we're looking at right now, versus our Blackboard site versus Slack. I'll explain Slack in a separate video that you will be able to take a look at, but I explain why we're using Slack here. Some information on file management and data backup policy, really important for a sort of digital content heavy class. You can read that, stuff about incomplete grades, late assignment policy, students with needs for accommodations, and syllabus change policy, all is right there. On policies, information about how to communicate with me. This is actually very important because I do not live in South Carolina, and I almost certainly, there's a slight chance, but I probably won't actually set foot on Winthrop's campus this semester. I live in Washington, D.C. I've been teaching 500 level writing classes for the English department for, this is my third semester now. And so, because I do not live in, I'm not going to be on campus, I don't have an office, you can't just drop something off at the English department for me. They might actually mail something to me. Actually, they do occasionally mail something to me, but it'll have to be mailed to me. I also don't have a campus phone, and I don't have campus voicemail. So, best ways to get hold of me, I will be holding office hours, and I'll show you the times for the office hours in a couple minutes. They're on the syllabus. Is we're going to be holding office hours through Skype. We can also use Google Hangouts for sort of group chats at times. Outside of office hours, email is the best way to get hold of me. If you have general questions about the class, things like you want to ask questions about the assignments, what something means. If you want to ask more clarification on the readings, what things mean. If you want to get more clarification on assignments, anything like that, I'm going to ask that you use Slack for that, and I'll show Slack again, the interface for that in its separate video. Basically, you want to think about that sort of Slack as kind of where we actually have conversations, sort of if we actually were meeting face-to-face in a classroom. So, if you want to ask, private questions, personal questions, sort of like what's my grade, or why did I get an A on this assignment, or things like that, or you need to tell me the horrible sort of medical conditions you're dealing with that's affecting your performance in class, things like that, you want to actually do an email or do via Skype with me. But just general questions that you would sort of ask in class. We can use Slack. That way, everyone in the class can benefit from the question itself and from my response. Of course, we'll also have a Twitter account. You can read about that there. So one thing, going back to the syllabus, I want to talk briefly about the texts. So as you can see, we've got required texts. Both Laurie Emerson's Reading Writing Interfaces and Marshall McLuhan and Quentin Fiore's The Medium is the Massage are required texts. Both of them should be in the bookstore. If they're not in the bookstore, please let me know, because again, I am in Washington, D.C. I can't just walk into the bookstore to see if the books are on the shelves. If they're not there, I don't know that they're there. I'm assuming they're there. So if you can't find copies, let me know. Also, of course, you can just order stuff from Amazon. You'll also find in the bookstore Doug Iman's Digital Rhetoric, Theory, Method, and Practice. Now, this book is listed as recommended rather than required because the University of Michigan has made the book available for free online, the entire book. Each of these, from the acknowledgement section all the way to the works cited section. Each of these acts as as a link to the section that displays as a web page. What I've got here, right here, is actually the link to this page here. And when I assign a particular reading from the book, I will actually have a link to this specific section. So for instance, next week, you'll actually be reading from the introduction. I'll actually have a link in the schedule directly to the introduction of the book. So if you are comfortable reading the book online, you do not need to buy a copy. You can just read it online. If you want to buy a copy, there should be copies in the bookstore. The last thing here, I'm going to be asking you all to get a subscription to lynda.com. I'm going to ask you to hold off until the third week of the course. Lynda.com is an excellent resource. Just thousands of online training tutorials for software programming, design, internet marketing, and the like. Basically, everything we could kind of be covering in this class and more. And I've had subscriptions to lynda.com for, well, not for years. I've got friends who teach new media classes throughout the country who have just subscriptions to lynda.com. It's an excellent resource and particularly useful for us because since we're not meeting face-to-face, I can't actually there's only so much I can do to help you use any kind of software. But this also allows us flexibility. You can sort of learn what you based on your own interests and your own needs. In fact, one of the assignments this semester is going to pick sort of a content area you want to learn more about, and you'll sort of work through some lynda.com tutorials on that. So, as I said, I want you to hold off until the third week when I actually start assigning content from it, because there is a 10-day free trial and then a subscription of $25 a month. Now, if you wait till the third week to when we actually need it, and then do the 10-day trial, and then get the monthly subscriptions, that will take you well into November. And I've worked out things in the schedule so that I won't be requiring you to actually use lynda.com after that period. So basically the 10-day trial plus the 2-month subscription. Now, some of you may want to extend it for a third month because you're from a project you're working on, you want to have access, or you just think actually lynda.com is a really cool resource. That's fine. But I'm trying to keep everything down so that 2 months plus a 10-day free trial. So if you wait to the third week of the course when I actually assign content before you actually sign up for the free 10-day trial, you should only have to then pay for 2 months. Okay, that's the texts. So again, as I said, if you click on schedule route as opposed to week 1, you'll see some content here. Based on the schedule, what we got is the important dates for the course. This is also, again, in the PDF syllabus. So all this information is just replicated. As I note, we actually start classes on Tuesdays through Mondays, kind of how our schedules work. If you want to take a quick look here, this is kind of what a typical week might look like. Kind of the course theme. I've got start off with some quotes. I might have I'll actually have a little bit of content here, kind of this kind of framing the week. Always have things that are due during the week, the activities I want you to engage in during the week, and the readings. I've got works cited because I'm citing stuff above. You also might find after the readings there might be sort of suggested readings or supplemental material, etc. That's what a general schedule looks like. Now, a lot of this is actually pretty easy stuff, things like get the textbooks. watch this video, that you have the link once I actually do the video. Things like that. But then also there's the assignments, sort of, your participation posts. That's actually, you do that weekly. They're listed under the assignments. We'll take a look at that in a second, but I tell you, kind of give you, ask you what you want you to do for those. Things like that. And then the readings for the week. And this is a 500 level course, which means that it is an order of magnitude more in-depth, more sort of advanced than a 400 level course. So for those of you who have not taken 500 level courses before, it is going to be harder. It's going to ask more of you than a 400 level course, and definitely more than the 300 level course. That's just the nature of 500 level courses, just as 100 level courses or 200 level courses are more advanced than a 100, or 300 is more advanced than a 100, and 400 is more advanced than a 300 or a 200. 500 is more advanced than a 400. So you're gonna, it's just, there's going to be work involved, but it's going to be fun work as well. And this actually may look daunting especially for a first week. It's not actually as big as it may seem. So I'm asking you pages 16 through 23 there. Actually, just 4 pages in this one. This is actually 3 pages total. This one here is 5 pages, and then a 4.5 minute video. So you can see it's actually not nearly as much content as it might look like at first glance there. I'm not asking you to read 8 full-length articles. Okay, so assignments. This actually doesn't have much. I kind of just put something there so kind of to follow the format. So there's something there if you click on that. But I've got 3 assignments right now. I'll be adding a couple. I'll be adding more as the semester goes. There'll be a couple more actually just this week. I'll be adding in participation assignments. You definitely want to know about, because I'm asking you to actually engage in the participation activities this week. So you can read through, see what the basic requirements are for those. And again, as I had said, most weeks I will kind of direct some of the participation posts. So for instance, I kind of ask you, kind of guide you here with some things I'm looking for from those posts. Sometimes I may ask you just to, write about whatever you want, as long as it's related to the course, the readings, etc. We've got a lot of resources. Click on the resources there. Some basic resources that we're going to be using throughout the semester. Some writing resources. The punctuation guide is really cool. You got to take a look at it. If you don't know the difference between a hyphen, an N dash as in Nancy, and an M dash as in monster, definitely want to take a look at the punctuation guide. Also, Purdue's Online Writing Lab is an excellent resource. Everything from grammar to various citation formats to actual instructions on how to create CVs, how to create lab reports, how to create proposals, how to write letters of how to write letters of recommendation, and how to write sort of cover letters for CVs, cover letters for various other things. And it doesn't just sort of give you the format, it actually talks about the rhetorical issues involved in each of them. So like what you need to consider, why you want to do what you're doing, why they actually exist the way they exist. So it's a really incredible resource and worth browsing. The Web Style Guide, 3rd edition, is the online version of a really, really good book. The Web Writing Style Guide version 1 from Writing Spaces is a more sort of irreverent, sort of fun guide put together by some colleagues of mine who teach at other universities, and it's connected to a journal that's designed for sort of articles about writing geared towards undergraduates, the journal Writing Spaces, and they have a web writing guide as well. And then I've got software and tools, and then I've got some, amongst the things here, you can actually find a number of suggested software to use. Anything that's got the asterisk around the title, for instance, Autodesk Suite 2013 and 14, and Google SketchUp, or Audacity, that means that if it's got the asterisk around it, it means that it is available in every computer lab on the Winthrop campus. So, and then I've got links to other, kind of other software, and I'll be adding to that. And if you come across some cool things that you think ought to be added, let me know. Also have some, I'll be adding some tutorials, and I'll be adding some other content as well. And again, with these, if you find something you think is really cool and ought to be added to the resource, let me know, and I'll add them to the resource. Finally, we've got the About. You can take, there's not much there in the About, but you can take a look at it. We've got here some information about me, my Winthrop email, my Skype account, so you actually know how to contact me, office hours, Mondays from 6 to 7, Thursdays from 8 to 9, and by appointment. Make appointments via email. And this is all Eastern time, so I'm on the same time, in the same time zone as Winthrop. So it's just, your local time is when we'll be holding office hours via Skype. And then I have a little biography of myself here, if you can learn a little bit about me. So that is the course web. Actually, that's the course, main part of the course website. I'll point out a couple other features. If you click on the title itself, just with any other blog, it'll take you to the top level post, as if you just went to the main URL for it. Also, if you click on this little box here at the top, you can do a keyword search. There's a calendar, and any page, any number that's highlighted like this means that there was a post that day. There's only one post right now. It was made on the 16th, and so it's there. If you click on that, it would actually take you to this post. There you go, day, August 16th. So the most recent post, I believe the top 5 will be listed here. I think I have comments disabled for the site, so you won't see theirs there. Archives by month. So once we get into November, there'll actually be an archive for also October and November. Also have categories. So any announcement right now, this Welcome to Write 501 is tagged as both the category announcement and category week 1. So all lectures for week 1 will be tagged with the week 1 category. Therefore, later on, like say week 4 or 5, you actually want to see find the content from week 1. You can just come over here, click on week 1, and it'll give you all of those. If you want to see all just the announcements, you click on that. You'll see the announcements. And to close this, come up here, just click on the X. Okay, so that's the course website. If you come here, we've got the course Blackboard site. Again, the course website link will take you to this website here. So it's the home page is for Blackboard. The course website is the course website here. Readings, they are listed in the schedule. The PDF readings are available in Blackboard. So right now we've got the week 1 readings uploaded. The other weeks will be coming very quickly. And I have a list of all the PDFs for week 1. There's a link back to the week 1 schedule, so you can see the full schedule. And if you click on week 1 there in the folder, you then get the PDF files right there. You can download each of them individually. Weekly reflections. That is one of the assignments. Starting with the second week, I'm asking you to reflect on the previous week and also sort of the week ahead. That starts with week 2. That assignment is right there, weekly reflections, so you can read about that. But what I'll be asking you to do when we do the weekly reflections is to actually use the blog tool in Blackboard. Weekly reflections brings you right here, click on that, and you've got the blog. When we do peer review, I'll set up peer review groups here. They're available. Also have the grades. You can check your grades and stuff like that once we have actual content to put in the grades. So that's a brief overview of both the Blackboard site and the course website. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you this semester, and I believe we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you.